I barely slept on the red eye flight. Thinking of you got me up all night. I'm tired of good.
Okay, so there's actually a lot to talk about concerning this camera, but I'm going to be keeping this video short and I'm going to talk about the reasons why I picked up this 24 megapixel 2019 mirrorless camera in 2020. And we're going to find out if this is for you. And it all came down to two things really, besides my budget of course. And number one is the
Nobody else makes me feel this way. Can you feel me now?
that wasn't me. But before continuing, if you're new to the channel, my name is IJNY. I make videos related to filmmaking and I also give tips on how to shoot better videos with your phone, and I really appreciate it if you consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. Okay, number one is the value for money. Alright, so this camera shoots 1080p at up to 120 fps with an option to slow down shots in camera with an S&Q mode, which I think is really cool. So with this S&Q mode, you can actually slow down high frame rate videos to frame rates of your choice. For example, if I shoot 120 fps at 1080p without editing it on my laptop, the camera can slow down that 120 fps footage down to a 30 fps footage. So when I take the video out of my camera, it's already a slowed down footage. And I think that's really cool and it can save you a bunch of time when editing. I don't really see it as something useful for me because I'm used to speed ramping and editing my own time graph myself, but it's really something nice that you can have and it can come in handy sometime. It also has a time-lapse feature and shoots 4K at 30 fps at 100 bitrate, which means I don't really have to consider changing my camera in the next like 2 years. I just have to upgrade my lens well back there. But you should know that like on all non-full frame cameras out there, shooting on 4K comes at a cost. That of this guy is a 1.6x crop factor that you get, which really isn't a big deal in my opinion. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. So it comes with the 16-50 lens right out of the box, some documentation that nobody ever reads, a really tiny strap, and the charger. Now the charger that came with mine is the micro USB cable to charge the camera itself, but I think you can select the items you want yours to come with if you order from sites like Amazon or B&H Photos. I'll have links to order them in the description below if you're interested. Now the overall build quality of this thing is, I'd say, an 8 out of 10, and it's really similar to some of the newer A7 lineups, and it surprisingly weighs more than the Canon M50, which looks bigger by the way. It's just that the Canon M50 has a plastic build while this is metal all through. It has an HDMI port, a micro USB port like I mentioned earlier, and also a headphone jack, which I think is really cool. But there's something really weird about the audio ports on this camera, and I'll talk about that later in this video. The screen is not a fully articulated one, but you do have kind of like a selfie mode when you flip it all the way over, and it is touchscreen, but it's just limited to setting your autofocus points and checking out a zoomed in photo in your preview. And that's something you should really consider and take note before you pick this up. Now, flipping the screen all the way over will block your hot shoe mount, and you won't be able to mount a shotgun mic, but you can pick up a shifter. I think that's what it's called, shifter. I'll put a picture up on the screen right now. And what this basically does is shift your hot shoe position to the other end of the camera, and this way you can be able to flip your screen over and also mount maybe a speed light or a shotgun mic if you'd like. At number 2 is the fact that there are multiple lens options available for the Sony A6100. And yes, I know, I've said this in my my previous video, but it's really something big and you should consider if you're really into filmmaking like I am, or into photography like the other people that do photography. Yeah. Now it uses the same in-mount you can find on the newer A7 series, including the all-new A7S III, which means that you can use a full-frame lens on this camera. So here are some sample shots I took on the Sony A6100 with the 16-50 kit lens. So the Sony A6100 goes for $800 for the body and the 16-50 kit lens, up to $1,000 for the complete kit that includes the 55-210 lens. You can check them out with the links I'll have in the description below at no additional costs. So that begs the question, who is this camera for? Is this for you? Well, if your passion involves owning a camera, or you're just in the market for to get a portable but capable camera that you plan on using for a long time, then this is definitely for you. Now, although there are a few things I really wish this camera had, like full touchscreen usage, a more flexible audio port I'm going to come back to right now, and shooting on log profiles. Now, if you don't know what log profiles are, it's basically shooting videos in a less colorful manner, so you can bump up the colors however you want when you're editing. I think I just explained log profiles in one sentence. Crazy. But there's a simple trick to get something similar on this camera that a friend told me about after I picked up this camera actually, and that's shooting on a creative style, on a custom creative style. And basically what you're doing is reducing your contrast and saturation all the way down to -3. Now, your dynamic range isn't going to be as good, obviously, but it's something that is very, very close to the real deal. But if color grading is something you want to get into, you could throw in an extra like $150 to $200 to get yourself a Sony A6400, which is basically this guy's elder brother. And it offers both S-Log2 and S-Log3 profiles for shooting video. Now, back to the audio jack. This thing doesn't support most lavalier or lapel mics out there. And it didn't even support my Boya BY-M1 microphone, and I was really surprised. So I went on to do a little digging, and I figured out that this camera mostly supports shotgun microphones like the Rode Video Micro, the Boya BY-M1, and its likes. And that's something you should definitely consider if you want to pick this up. Do you want to spend in the extra bucks to get a shotgun mic? Or if you want to be like me, I always record my audio directly into Premiere Pro. That way when I'm editing, it's kind of faster than having an external recorder. It's not going to be as fast as recording directly into the camera, of course, but I get more compression, and I think it's pretty cool. It's working out for me. It could work out for you. Let me know what you think. Is recording directly into your editing software something you try or something you do? Let me know down there, and let's shake hands or something. And to round this up, this entire video was shot on the Sony A6100. Well, besides the B-rolls, of course. I mean, I don't have two Sony A6100. The B-roll was actually shot on my iPhone 8 with the ProShot camera app. If you don't know, I use the ProShot camera app for all of my mobile shots, and I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to get that. They just released an update today, and I think you'll find it interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think about this camera. Do you think it's worth spending the money on this year? Also, if you made it this far in this video, I really appreciate it. Comment "Dammy was really nice," and let's confuse the others that didn't make it to this part, and I'll be down there playing along as well. Again, thanks for watching. You can check out some other videos I have on the channel if you're not too busy, and I'll see you guys in my next one.
And I'm so done with good advice, 'cause all that I want